Newsrooms across the Shenandoah Valley. This is WHSV TV3 News at 11, beginning with breaking news.
And the breaking news tonight is about breaking weather records. Another night of dangerous wind chills in the valley. Our team coverage continues on the Severe Weather Alert Day. We're going to check in with Aubrey in just a moment. Plus,
I mean, you're jeopardizing your cows if you don't check them every day.
This brutally cold weather not making it easy for farmers. We're checking in on how these frigid temps are impacting agriculture. Good evening, I'm Kyle Rogers.
And I'm Marina Barnett. First at 11, it's been another bitter cold day here in the valley.
Sure has. Very cold outside. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Aubrey Urbanowitz in the First Alert Weather Center. So, Aubrey, there's no words anymore. I think we've exhausted all of them.
I have no idea.
Aren't you kind of tired about talking about this, by the way?
I'm ready for something else.
Yeah.
Give me something else to talk about.
Maybe a little warm-up in our future.
Well, yeah, that too. But you know what? Today we actually broke a record. How about that? A cold record, though. Our high temperature today was 16 degrees. Our average is 40. So, yeah, just a smidge below average. But our record coldest high temperature today was 18 degrees. That was set back in the late 1800s. We broke that coldest high temperature record today. So that shattered basically a 122-year-old record. So it's extremely cold. If it's going to be cold, we might as well break some records, right? We'll likely break that coldest high temperature record for tomorrow as well, because we're not going to be much higher than today. Winds right now, yes, still elevated. These are sustained winds, 5, 10, 15, even 25-mile-an-hour winds for Petersburg. So our wind chill value in Petersburg is about 18 below right now. Extremely cold. And weather watchers calling in temperatures 4 in Franklin, 9 in Berkton, 12 in Strasburg, 9 in 10 Legion, 8 in Stanton. We even have a couple of flurries floating around. Keep in mind, with temperatures this cold, anytime we have even just a couple of flurries coming down, it just turns instantly into ice. So that could create some slick conditions. So be aware of that. We'll talk about how cold our wind chills will be by tomorrow morning. And yes, when we'll see some relief and how nice it could be by the end of next week. By this time next week, it'll be a lot warmer. More on that coming up.
All right, so looking forward to that. All right, thank you, Aubrey. The extreme cold weather is keeping Valley Mission and Stanton very busy these days.
And the homeless shelter says because of the below freezing temperatures, they've had a higher number of guests than usual.
We did anticipate that we would have higher numbers because of the weather, and so we actually solicited extra donations for scarves and hats and gloves.
At the mission, people get beds, blankets, meals, and support to get back on their feet.
Winter coats are a hot commodity and a warm necessity for this bone-chilling weather.
But as I found out today, not everybody can get one, but some folks in the valley are doing something to help out.
I think any community is only as good as it treats its most vulnerable citizens, and so we definitely want to do our part.
The extreme cold weather is leaving some looking for ways to bundle up. The Harrisonburg Salvation Army is giving out coats to those who need them for people of all ages. So far, they've had more than 250 donated, and they're taking extra steps with their warming shelter by keeping it open all day.
And because it really is life or death for a lot of folks if they're outside. So we have some space, and we're definitely willing to do what we can to help those in the cold. At
Goodwill in Harrisonburg, coats are flying off the racks at their stores. They're able to keep their prices low and affordable, marking their winter coats all for under $10. So those who may not be able to afford a new coat can find one just as nice.
We have an inspection process, so we make sure that we are putting out the absolute best of the best, and we can provide you with a good coat in these cold temperatures at a very fair, affordable price.
Both the Salvation Army and Goodwill are accepting donations for gently used coats.
I mean, you're jeopardizing your cows if you don't check them every day and you're looking after them. If they don't have water, you know, that's pretty critical.
All over Virginia, the cold weather keeping farmers on high alert, dealing with frozen water supplies and stalled machinery. They're just some of the ways farmers are really feeling this deep chill. And in some cases, they have to be outside longer than, say, you and I with this cold.
And in some cases, an extra 3 to 4 hours a day, and they have to make sure everything is properly working. We stopped by Mount Crawford Creamery today, and Frank Will says cows actually handle the cold weather much better as long as it's dry.
Yeah, they feed the cows extra corn in the cold weather to give them warmth while keeping a close eye on those calves born in the cold.
They always pick the coldest night or the wettest night or the hottest night of the year to have them, I think. But you try to have them pinned up in a dry environment, out of the wind, have plenty of bedding, straw around them.
Frank says the cows, especially the calves, are kept inside the barn outside, out of these dangerously cold elements. This severe weather is leading to some deaths in Virginia.
Yeah, a 9-year-old girl has died after she was hit by a pickup truck while sledding in Thursday's storm.
And police say she was sledding down a driveway when she slid into a pickup truck.
When it gets like this, that hill is a sheet of ice, and the VDOT doesn't get to it soon enough. We'd rather not have any of the kids sledding on that hill at all because they can't see the cars coming this way.
Investigators are looking into it, but her death, though, was not the only one in Virginia linked to this storm. A 75-year-old man was struck by a snowplow in the Hampton area.
Our coverage of this severe cold weather continues later in the show. We have more coverage online, too, at WHSV.com and the WHSV News app.
Today I woke up a winner.
I was not really invested in football a lot of the time I was there. And then since then, we've started tailgating with friends, we've started going to games, and it's been really fun to watch them kind of turn into something great.
Excitement building for tomorrow's big game, and we stopped by Pale Fire Brewing today, where people are pumped up in the Friendly City getting ready for the Dukes to take on North Dakota State. And the excitement is also building about 1,200 miles away in Frisco, Texas.
And that's where we find WHSV's Bob Grebe tonight. He spent some time with those fans fired up for JMU.
All right. Thank you, Bob. An exciting day ahead.
Yes,
Can't
definitely.
Wait to see. All right. We've got much more news ahead for you this Friday night. A tiebreaker in favor of Republicans in the Virginia House of Delegates may impact some Democrats' goals for Medicaid.
We'll take a look at the balance of power in Richmond.
But first, we're going to take a live look over the frigid Friendly City.
Your full forecast is next.
The week.
We're
How
almost
about
tickling
that?
60 right about there.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be fantastic.
Yes,
That's
it
what.
will. You know what's not fantastic though? We have people flying into D.C. from international flights. They were trying to go to New York, but then their flights, they're stranded at Dulles tonight. Ugh.
Thousands of people were stranded at Dulles today. Oh, can you imagine? After that snowstorm hit D.C. yesterday, passengers on more than 30 flights were supposed to go to airports like JFK or Newark, but were instead rerouted there because of the wintry weather. Some even bused to New York.
After a long flight like that, you get on a bus to go to New York.
Oh my
Man.
goodness, no. But still ahead, the balance of power in Richmond.
What it could mean for the future of Medicaid in Virginia. We're going to take you to the capital city next. Thanks for staying up with us tonight. With Thursday's tiebreaker in Richmond, it appears Virginia Republicans will still have a slim majority in the House of Delegates.
So what does that mean for Medicaid expansion, which is a top priority of Democrats? Joe DeShiel from our sister station, WDBJ, shows us.
After the finally tonight, clearing out your driveway after a driveway. I said that weird. I'm sorry. It's been a long week.
It has been.
Clearing out your driveway after a snowstorm is never fun.
No, but a Pennsylvania man got a little creative to clear his snow-covered driveway. Jonathan Schill attached a giant cardboard TV box, you can see right there, to his lawnmower to create a snow plow. His fiancée captured this video from outside their home in Chambersburg last week. She said it got the job done. They posted on Facebook, and it's been viewed more than 8 million times.
Smart. Listen, let me just say, smart people come from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Because
that is true.
you're
That's
looking
the only
at
reason they
two
ran
of
that
them.
story.
8 million people saw that video.
Life
it's-
hacks. I mean,
Right? Especially after Christmas with all these boxes, you know.
That's so
There you
smart.
go.
Maybe you'll get some kind of TV endorsement and get a bunch of free
Or
TVs.
John Deere,
maybe just a
baby.
plow.
Or John Deere.
How about a plow?
Someone give this man
poor
a
guy
plow.
doesn't have to do that the next
Good for
time.
something. 8 million views.
But you know what? At least we're not dealing with snow here.
No, and you know what?
could
Some
be
of the wind chills today I've seen coming in out of Minnesota, 44 below. We're not quite there, but by tomorrow morning, about 5, 10, 15, even 20 below. Our wind chill factor will be below zero for pretty much the entire day. And then as we head to about sunset tomorrow night, our winds calm down, but then the temperatures plummet really fast. So more on your WHSV app because we got a little wintry system for Monday. Above average temperatures, but a little rain, could be a little slick.
Maybe a little warm up by the end of next week.
Yeah.
Maybe I can talk like that.
Let's see if we can do better Monday.
Stay warm. Good night.